Hi, Grant Grizzlies. It's Miss.Ali here again. We're going to be talking about some of our toolbox tools starting this week. If you remember last week, we talked about the zones of regulation. We talked about red zone, blue zone, green zone, yellow zone, all the zones. We talked about what those things feel like when you're in the zones and what you can do when you're in each zone. So now we're going to start talking about some tools that you can use that when you're having different feelings or something you just need to work through, your toolbox tools can be a really big help. So I'm going to let Mr. V and Miss Lucy introduce themselves again, and then we'll get started.
Hi, Grand Grace and Leas. This is Miss Lucy back here again with you.
Please, Mr. V, just coming back to talk to you this week.
So this week we're going to talk about a tool that's called the breathing tool. So the breathing tool is a really great tool and something that you can use quite a bit. You can use it a lot. And the focus of the breathing tool is I calm myself and check in. So the breathing tool is especially important because it allows us to bring awareness, which means we pay attention to, we're aware of, we know our breathing, and it immediately brings calm to ourselves, to our bodies, and gives us time to think. It's a bridge to self-reflection. That means we can think about what's going on, and it guides us towards important changes, important choices that we can make to help ourselves out when we're feeling maybe a little anxious, maybe we're worried, maybe you're feeling angry, any of those kinds of things. The breathing tool is very helpful. And it also allows us to learn what it means to have inner calm and how to bring that about. So we're going to talk about the breathing tool today. And I want to show you really quickly what it looks like is a tape measure. If you've ever seen a tape measure, it's the thing that you can lengthen out to take measurements of something. So when we think about the breathing tool, I want you to think about taking a tape measure out and then putting it back together. This is how breathing looks when you're taking your breaths. You would be breathing out, or excuse me, breathing in, and then breathing out. So I'm gonna pass it on to Miss Lucy, and she's gonna talk a little bit about what the breathing tool is helpful for.
Okay, Grand Grace and Leas. So what Miss.Ali was telling you, self-awareness. So remember that self-awareness means when you do the breathing tool, we want you to do it for 5 seconds, because when you're in the breathing state and you're in 5 seconds, then you become self-aware of your body. You become self-aware and you are able to reflect. You're in a calm state and you are able to feel exactly what's happening to you. You are able to think more clear, and you might be able to react differently than if you're not calm. You might react more in a negative way, but if you're calm and you're aware of your feelings and your body, then you might react in a more positive way. And also how you react to others. So if you're in that calm state and you feel your body, you're able to think, you're in that clear, calm state, you might be able to be more kind to others. Maybe you won't talk back. Maybe you'll respond a lot better. So body awareness is what we want you to focus on too when you're doing the breathing tool for 5 seconds. And remember, it's super slow. We don't want to do the, because I remember seeing some of you doing that. So remember to make it slow and really feel your body. Once we focus on the breathing, we become more aware of all the sensations and the needs of our bodies. This body awareness lets you know if you're upset. You can actually feel it in your stomach, and you may even feel more calm.
Do you think that there's any kind of zone that the breathing tool is most helpful with?
I definitely think that the blue zone, when you're feeling sad and you're having maybe a hard time controlling your sadness, or the red zone when you're really angry, or the yellow zone when you're really nervous.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know for me, I have anxiety, and so a lot of times the breathing tool is really helpful for me when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm starting to recognize I'm thinking a lot about the same thing and it's making my heart rate go up, or I'm worried about something, practicing the breathing tool, just focusing on taking deep breaths, really helps me calm my body.
Right. So, just like Miss.Ali and Miss.Lucy talked about the awareness, I'm going to actually use some big words just to help you understand the reason it does that. When you take in the longer, deep breaths, it actually helps your oxygen saturation in your body, and it affects your parasympathetic nervous system, which then allows your body to think more clearly. That's why it does it. It's because you've increased that oxygen intake to your brain and to your body, so you can slow yourself down. It doesn't change what you feel. It helps you think about what you feel and solve problems. Just like one of our core fours at school is being a problem solver. When you can take those breaths and you can calm your body and your brain, that means your brain can make those right decisions. So there are a lot of times that you can use these tools when you're in different zones. For some examples is if you're in the yellow zone and you're really nervous, you're in class before a test, maybe you need to take some long, deep breaths. You only got to do it for a few seconds, 20 seconds, or just take 3 or 4 big breaths. Get your body calm, and you can probably refocus on that test. And it's not going to be disruptive to anybody. Make them nice breaths. You don't have to breathe out like you're trying to blow out birthday candles across the room or anything. Just nice deep breaths and let them out. Another time you might be able to do it is if you're really sad. Maybe you're at a funeral or something, and you are having a hard time controlling your feelings. It's quiet in there. It's a good time to be able to take those breaths. Calm your body. Maybe you're standing in line and you're really frustrated because things are moving super slow. Maybe that's a good time to be able to take those breaths. You're feeling like you're in the yellow or the red zone. You're frustrated. Take those breaths. Singers, before they go out and sing, they'll take some breaths, get themselves focused, get themselves calm, because they're nervous about being out in front of people, right? I know that that's with most sports people. Anybody that is really angry, sometimes maybe even your parents frustrated you, or you frustrated your parents. Sometimes it's good to take those breaths, or you'll see them be take a couple breaths and just try, because they're calming down too and thinking about what they want to do next.
I was thinking too, when we're in distance learning, I don't know about you guys, but I get very frustrated with my computer a couple times a day usually. And I think the breathing tool is very useful for a lot of different technical difficulties that we have, problems with our computers. Maybe you're not able to connect to your class Zoom call. Maybe a video isn't loading that you need to get done. Maybe you finished an assignment and you clicked to turn it in to your teacher, and your computer gave you a message that there was a problem, some kind of error. And oh my goodness, that would frustrate me right away. That would put me in the yellow zone. And so I think the breathing tool is so helpful for us when we're doing distance learning. What I do a lot of the time is I take a couple breaths and I have to pause, because honestly, when I'm getting frustrated, I'm not thinking as much about what would be helpful in that moment. I'm just thinking about what's frustrating me. And so when I use the breathing tool, it gives me time to calm my body, check in, and actually think what's going to help me in this moment. If I'm having an issue with my computer, throwing my computer is not going to help me. So if I breathe for a little bit and I check in, I can think, well, what can I actually do that's going to be helpful?
And as you guys have seen in the previous videos, Miss.Ali and I and now Mr.V have been telling you about this tool pretty much in most of our guidance lessons. So we would hope that you are trying these, and they really do work, just like Mr.V said. If you haven't tried it, give it a try when you're feeling some type of way and you think it might help you in the situations that Mr.V told you. And you'll see that it does help you. And I mean, it would tell you to try it for a reason.
If you want another example, Apple even tells you to try it. They put the breathing tool on the iWatches.
So I'm going to walk us through practicing using the breathing tool before we finish up today. So I'm going to have you do something with me. This is called an imagination practice. That means I'm going to guide us through practicing our breathing tool right now, practicing using the tool to calm ourselves and check in with ourselves. Remember, Miss Lucy talked about self-awareness. We're going to pay attention to what's going on. And body awareness, we're going to start tuning into ourselves to pay attention to what's going on in our bodies. Okay? So I want you to place both feet on the floor in front of you. You're going to put your hands on your knees, or you can put them on your desk, whatever's close by, but put your hands in a relaxed position. Sit upright with your head balanced easily. That means that you don't have to worry about what's going on with your head. All right, so let your eyes focus on a spot in front of you, not far away, not too close, just something easy that you don't have to think a lot about what you're looking at. You can close them if you want to, if that helps you focus just on your breathing. I want you to put one hand on your stomach, on your belly, and then put one hand over your heart, just like this. I don't know if you can see where my hands are, but you're gonna do that. I want you to take 3 slow, deep belly breaths with me, okay? Okay, do you notice how easy it is to breathe deeply? Imagine yourself remembering to take an easy breath anytime you need it. Maybe see yourself taking a deep breath before you get to school to help calm yourself down with us right now. Maybe you imagine yourself taking a deep breath before you log in to distance learning with your class. Imagine taking a deep breath anytime your body needs it. All right. When you're ready, after you take those deep breaths, you can just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes a little bit. That helps bring yourself back into the room fully and awake, aware, and ready. I want you guys to think about how your body felt when you took those 3 deep breaths together with us. You know, for me, what my body feels is I immediately feel my heart slow down. I feel my body becoming calm. I feel any tension, which means if something is tight in my body, I feel that relax. I feel it in my shoulders. I carry a lot of tension in my shoulders. So I feel that relax when I take those breaths. I want you to think about what you notice in your body when you take those deep breaths. And remember, this is something you can use anytime, anywhere. What did you notice, Mr. V or Miss Lucy?
Well, I noticed the same things that you mentioned, but one thing I also noticed is that while we were breathing together, we don't all have the same breathing speed or capacity. So you also have to find what is the good deep breath for you. Because like when Mrs.Ali was breathing, and she was ready to breathe out, I was still breathing in a little. So sometimes body size and stuff can change. So sometimes finding what your count is or what feels best for you is also important. Because if you feel like you're on somebody else's count and it feels too fast, then you want to find what works for you. If you feel like it's too slow and you can't keep breathing anymore, you're like, you know, because they're still breathing, then that's not good for you either. That's not going to help you relax. So you got to find where your spot is. Your body will tell you if it's working like it should, or it feels too fast, or feels too, it's just like, I think it's like swimming underwater, right? If you go underwater, some people can stay under there longer, other people can't. And your body starts telling you when it's time to come up because it starts feeling uncomfortable, or you feel like you're not getting the breath you need. You recognize it. So as long as you're focusing on what your body's telling you, you should be able to find that spot.
Yeah, I think that's a really good reminder about that self-awareness, recognizing, just like Mr. V and Miss Lucy said, your body will tell you if you need to go slower or if you need to go a little faster. Maybe your lung capacity, that's what fills up with your breath, with air. Maybe it's a little bit less than someone, maybe it's a little bit more. So it's good to tune in to your body, check in with yourself, listen to your own cues. If you need to breathe in for longer, or if you're a little shorter, just pay attention to what's going on in your body. All right, Grant Grizzlies. we hope that you have a great week this week. We hope that you join us for lunch hangouts. It's always fun to see your faces, to meet your pets, and to hear what's going on in your lives. We hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes.